so you're.
He's got to get downstairs.
Well, he said to put me down there. That's why I'm laughing. I'm like,
He said they're listening and ready for you.
oh. But we're on. We're ready.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the November 16th meeting of the Newmarket Town Council, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started with the rest of our agenda this evening, I just wanted to read a brief statement. There was an article in the media yesterday that Representative DiLorenzo, who was just voted into office to represent the towns of Newmarket and Newfields at the State House for her 4th term, received threatening emails from a white supremacist prior to the election. Not only does the town council condemn this act of intimidation, but I personally want to commend Representative DiLorenzo for her tact, maturity, professionalism, and strength in dealing with this issue. She kept the matter quiet so that it didn't become a campaign issue, and I applaud her dignity and her restraint. She is one of Newmarket's best, and we are lucky to have her represent us in Concord. Everyone is present this evening. The next item that we have is public forum. Seeing no one in the public, I will close public forum at 7:02. The next item that we have is a public hearing. And I will open the public hearing on the progress of the New Road Waterline Replacement CDBG project. Am I reading this?
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Community Development Block Grant funds are available to municipalities through the New Hampshire Community Development Finance Authority. Up to $500,000 annually is available on a competitive basis for public facility projects, up to $500,000 for housing projects, up to $500,000 for economic development projects, and up to $350,000 for emergency activities that directly benefit low and moderate income persons. Up to $25,000 per study is available for planning grants. The purpose of the hearing is to present to the public on and take comments on the progress of the waterline replacement project on New Road in Newmarket. For water improvements, 2,600 of water main replacement, feet of water main replacement have been completed. Is that linear feet?
Linear.
Okay, thank you. It took me a second. Drainage improvement, 2,600 linear feet of drainage pipe have been completed, and 21 linear feet of roadway is paved, and the project is substantially complete. Work remaining, there's a final wearing course and punch list items to be done in spring of 2023. I would now ask for public comment. Seeing that there is no one from the public here, I will close the public hearing at 7:04. Okay. The next is for the acceptance of minutes, and we have 2 items this evening. The first is our October 29th budget workshop meeting minutes, and I would accept a motion to approve those.
I'll move to approve those minutes.
I'll second.
Joe. Councilor Lamatina. Were there any questions or changes, comments on the meeting minutes? Seeing none, if you could call the roll, please.
Councilor Braybeck? Aye. Councilor Lamatina?
Aye.
Councilor White?
Aye.
Councilor Blackstone?
Aye.
Councilor Ward?
Aye.
Councilor Conley?
Aye.
Councilor Weinstein?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
The next item is our November 2nd regular meeting minutes, and I would accept a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Oh, I think Councillor Conley. Any questions or changes? Seeing none, you can call the roll.
Council Brayback? Aye. Council Lamatina?
Aye.
Council White?
Aye.
Council Blackstone?
Aye.
Council Ward?
Aye.
Council Conley?
Aye.
Council Weinstein?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. The next item is the town manager's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First item in my written report is just an update on the expense and revenue report. At the end of October, we had completed a third of the fiscal year. At this point, we've expended 36% of the operating budget, which is normal for this time of year. Last year at this time, we expended 39%, and I just provided a quick comparison. Revenues are on target as well. We did see an uptick in motor vehicle registrations, which we were concerned previously about, but we're doing fine there. Just a few items not on my written report or updates from the other portion. We should be having a recommendation for the facility study. At our next meeting, we reviewed the two proposals and are finalizing an agreement with one company. The second item, which I received late this afternoon, and it's one of those things that I've been talking about a lot recently, it's the DRA sales ratio. So our assessors came up with a new estimate for our new one. As you know, I've been concerned because our ratio last year was 73.1%. Well, he let me know that there is a 10-point change down to 62.7%. So again, our net valuation is roughly $995 million. That's 62.7% of where it should be. So, because what that means is the sales, say a house is assessed at $300,000, they're selling for 40% more than that. So that's a big difference between our valuation, and our concern again is if all of a sudden the market dries up, we have that delta there between the two. I've emailed the assessors to see what we can do, including but not limited to bumping up our statistical update sooner, so we can better reflect where we are. And as soon as I get that information, I'll provide to the council. Other than that, that's all I have tonight. Just been busy with the budget and set that off to the municipal budget committee this week.
Any questions for the town manager on his report or the department reports? I'm seeing none. I wanted to just comment on the police report. First, I really enjoy I'm going to call it the police log, because that's kind of what it is. I miss that feature of I don't get a regular newspaper anymore, and they don't post them anymore. They used to post the Newmarket used to post them.
Yeah. We used to put them in the newsletter weekly.
Oh, is it in
Email.
the newsletter?
I'll double check.
Oh, I
know
don't.
we did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because it was on Facebook for a while.
Yeah.
I know that it's not on Facebook anymore. I actually haven't checked that portion of the newsletter, so I'll have to do that. But anyway, I like seeing that, and then also I noticed that motor vehicle stops were really high compared to other months, and I didn't know
So
if this was an outlier or if
this is
something
actually a statewide trend. They are seeing a larger, and it was funny, at the conference today, municipal conference today, I was talking to another manager, and they were amazed at the number of calls that have been going up recently. Traffic stops, a lot of, not here necessarily, a lot of DWIs, and sadly a lot of domestics. And it's a trend that we're seeing statewide. They don't know if it's that post-COVID, and we're now seeing more people going out than even last year, because people still were a little sheltered last year, that it could be that kind of situation. But it's not just a Newmarket thing right now. We're hearing it across the state.
I was concerned about euthanizing turkeys by the police just before Thanksgiving. That seems a little like what? Somebody was short a turkey this year?
Just for
people at home, they had to put down some turkeys that got hit by the road. They're not going out and
No,
hunting
no.
turkeys in the wood.
I just thought just before Thanksgiving, all of a
Yeah.
sudden the police are out getting turkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if there was like an effort, if we had an increased,
No, it's.
you know,
And again,
presence in town. You
yeah,
know,
I'll
if
ask
there
the
was-
chief, but that's what I heard today. It's not
Interesting.
just a Newmarket thing.
And that was really the only comment that I had on the department reports. Keep breaking my pen. Sorry. So moving on, committee reports. Are there any committee reports?
The planning board is still working on the ADUs. That's basically all we do right now. Is just like going just letter by letter on it.
Okay.
But I did happen to see something in there about McDonald's in this report.
That was the prior meeting. Yeah, I reported that. Actually, I might have to disclose here so there's this. It's called Nick's Place, and he's got several places, and he just opened a restaurant down in Hampton. So I went down there to eat, and they recognized me, and they brought me a free salad. So I don't know if I have to report that as income or what. But Nick personally came out, and he was thrilled. You know, he was asking me, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." And it was very good. I highly recommend it, and I think it's going to be a huge addition to Newmarket.
Great. Are there any? Oh, Councilor Baybeck.
Yeah, the Newmarket Business Association met last Friday, and talked like the way those meetings work. There's a lot of input from a lot of updates from different corners of town. So I'll use this chance to echo some of those updates that aren't necessarily from the NBA. But one thing that was discussed was just debriefing the Halloween hunt, which went super well. But it was shared that one of the only complaints they got was that Main Street was not shut down. And so there was some discussion there among some of the business owners versus, not versus, but Amy mentioned that she didn't think that was likely to happen in the future. It's a big cost to shut down the street and have the police and everything, and so it's unlikely that that would happen in future events, but the NBA thought it was worth me bringing up to all of you that there was feedback that was received as people took the trolley sponsored by the NBA from the rec to downtown to do that trick-or-treating downtown. Also wanted to mention that the Very Merry Main Street calendar is out, so keep an eye out for that. There's a bunch of events coming up around the holidays around town, and reminding people that Small Business Saturday is celebrated by many people the Saturday after Thanksgiving, so encouraging them to go downtown and visit some of our local businesses.
Do we know when the tree lighting is?
I do. I was just trying to not talk too long. It is right in front of me. It is on Saturday, December 3rd. From 2 to 4, there is the kids' holiday party at the Mill Space, and the tree lighting is at Arbor Park at 5 p.m.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other? I'm gonna get a new pen because I broke mine. Any other committee reports? All right. Quiet times. I guess that's a good thing. So we have one resolution in the second reading, and that is Resolution 2022-2023-15, and that's the proposed amendment to the Joint Powers Agreement for Community Power Coalition of New Hampshire, and I would accept a motion to approve that resolution.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
It's just an amendment to the Community Power Agreement that allows amendments to the Joint Power Agreement on an as-needed basis by the board versus an annual meeting in April. And unless I'm missing something, that's it.
Are there any questions or comments?
Did you know you were on the board of directors?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know
tried-
our pictures were gonna
I
get
didn't know that either.
I screens were.
I tried really hard to remove myself, but that didn't work. So, okay. Seeing no other comments, if you could call the roll.
Council Brayback? Aye. Council Lamatina?
Aye.
Council White?
Aye.
Council Blackstone?
Aye.
Council Ward?
Aye.
Council Connolly? Aye. Council Weinstein?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Okay. Now we have a lot of reading to do. We have several resolutions in the first reading. And the first is Resolution 2023-11, and it's a 2022 Ford F-150 police pickup truck. Whereas the police department seeks to replace the current 2009 Ford Taurus with a new Ford F-150 police pickup truck at the state bid price of $39,975, and whereas the department's request includes the costs associated with outfitting the vehicle with a police radio, emergency lighting, and safety equipment necessary for police services. And whereas the police department capital reserve account for police cruiser replacement currently has a balance of $59,574.06, and whereas the total cost of the vehicle and related equipment is estimated not to exceed $54,339.80. Now therefore be it resolved by the Newmarket Town Council that the Newmarket Town Council does hereby approve the withdrawal of funds not to exceed $54,339.80 from the Police Department Capital Reserve account for police cruiser replacement for the purposes of purchasing and equipping a new Ford 150 pickup truck for the town, and to authorize the town manager to execute any associated agreements. First reading 11/16/2022. Next item is Resolution 2022-2023-12, and it's relating to the town's investment policy, and I will read that in name only as it is a very lengthy resolution. It is available on the town website. Oops. The next item is Resolution 2022-2023-17, relating to the creation of the Septage Receiving Improvements Capital Reserve and transfer of $1.2 million of wastewater fund balance to it. Whereas the town of Newmarket wishes to improve the septage receiving station and improve the quality of life of Creighton Street residents. And whereas the wastewater fund balance is currently $1,873,985, and whereas the statutory procedure to undertake said transfer required the council to adopt the provisions of RSA 35:7 water departments, which provides that any waterworks or sewer department of a city or town organized by general law or special act of the legislature and financed principally by water or sewer rentals may, by unanimous vote of the body charged with the administration thereof, whether the local governing body, water board, or board of water or sewer commissioners, establish a capital reserve fund for said department for the purposes as provided in RSA 35:1. Such reserve shall be established only from surplus from water or sewer rentals, and no part thereof shall be made from appropriations by said city or town. And whereas the statutory procedure to create a capital reserve fund are in the provisions of RSA 35:1, establishment of reserves authorized, provides for the establishment of a capital reserve fund for the financing of all or part of the cost of 1, the reconstruction of a specific capital improvement. Now therefore be it resolved that the town council does hereby approve the establishment of a septage receiving improvements capital reserve fund, and names the town council as agents to expend under the provisions of RSA 35:15, and authorizes the transfer of $1,200,000 from the wastewater department fund balance into said fund. First reading November 16th, 2022. Reading RSA items like that, there's just no flow to them. I struggle with that. The next item is Resolution 2022-2023-18 to include a loan for a $100,000 study and design Moody Point Stormwater Improvements article on the town warrant. Whereas, it is the wish of the town council to include on the town warrant the following proposed warrant article for a $100,000 loan to study and design upgrades to the Moody Point stormwater system. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $100,000 excuse me, for the purpose of stormwater planning work relative to management of the municipal storm drain system in accordance with state and federal water quality guidelines. Such sum to be raised by the issuance of serial bonds and notes not to exceed $100,000 under and in compliance with the provisions of the Municipal Finance Act, New Hampshire RSA 31:1 as amended, and to authorize the town to issue and negotiate such bonds or notes, to determine the rate of interest thereon, and to take such actions as may be necessary to effect the issuance, negotiation, sale, and delivery of such bonds or notes as shall be in the best interest of the town. Additionally, to authorize the town to apply for and accept grants or other funds that may offset the amount to be repaid and participate in the State Revolving Fund, RSA 486-14, established for this purpose, and to allow the town to expend such monies as become available from the federal and state governments and pass any vote relating thereto. It is anticipated that the town will apply for a clean water SRF loan, it being understood that repayment of the loan may include up to 100% principal forgiveness with no impact on the tax rate. This project is contingent upon approval of a clean water SRF loan or other funding application, 2/3 vote required. Now therefore be it resolved by the Newmarket Town Council to include the above proposed warrant article on the 2023 town warrant and recommend the warrant article for passage. Given at the Town Council chambers this, that's today.
That'll be the next one.
That'll be the next one, okay. Day of November in the year of our Lord 2022. Although I guess that would be December.
Yeah.
First reading November 16th, 2022. Let's see.
Madam Chair, there's an issue with this resolution that the resolution wasn't included in the packet, so this will not be up
I
for
meant to
first
send you
reading
an email
tonight.
about that.
It'll be the first meeting in December, since it was only a staff report. And the second reading will be in December.
Okay. The next one is, oh, my computer decided to be slow. Resolution 2022-2023-20, resolution appropriating $6,000 from the Technology Capital Reserve Fund for network cabling work in the Town Hall, DPW building, and the police station. Whereas the town's network used extensively for normal business operations for a variety of business functions, including telephone communications, and whereas the town's current network cabling does not meet code, as in many cases it was never properly run, punched down, toned, tested, and labeled, thereby increasing downtime when there is a problem, and whereas the Director of Finance and Administration is proposing the council have a certified toning, tracing, properly punching down the Ethernet cable and a patch panel, testing and labeling both ends, and whereas the Technology Capital Reserve Fund has a balance of $40,840. Now therefore be it resolved that the Newmarket Town Council does hereby approve the expenditure of not more than $6,000 from the Technology Capital Reserve Fund for network cabling and assessment work to be done in the Town Hall, the DPW building, and the police station. I'm assuming it'll be explained what those toning, tracing, and punching down.
Yeah, just replacing it. A little too technical.
The next item is the default budget. It's Resolution 2022-2023-21, and it's approval of the fiscal year 2024 default budget. Whereas, in accordance with the New Hampshire Revised Statutes, annotated 40:13, Roman numeral 9B, the town council must approve a default budget in case the budget proposed by the municipal budget committee fails at town meeting. And whereas the default budget is determined by taking the previous year's approved operating budget, increasing it by any contractual obligations, and reduced by any one-time expenditures. And whereas the town manager and finance director determined this amount to be $16,151,712. Now therefore be it resolved by the Newmarket Town Council that the default budget in the amount of $16,151,712 is adopted. First reading November 16th, 2022. The next is the curbside collection contract, Resolution 2022-2023-24, curbside collection contract. Whereas the town put out an RFP for curbside collection services, and whereas the Director of Public Works has reviewed all proposals and has recommended Casella, and whereas the solid waste budget has funds to cover the cost of this contract. Now therefore be it resolved by the Newmarket Town Council that the town manager is authorized to enter into any necessary agreements with Casella for the next 3 years to provide the town with curbside collection and disposal services. First reading November 16th, 2022. We're gonna have a busy night.
We are.
And that was it, right? Did I miss one?
Yep.
Okay. Was there any correspondence to the town council?
There were none.
And any closing comments from the town council? Councilor Blackstone.
So I have been talking to a number of people about this whole idea of preserving the downtown. And it's a very, very difficult thing to come up with some simple answer. It ranges from do the right thing to, a 10-page document listing, all the specific colors and everything that you can use and stuff. And so in the current situation, if, there's a restaurant downtown called Oak House, I'm sure everybody knows it, right? If McDonald's bought Oak House, tore it down, and put in a McDonald's, they would not have to go to the zoning board because it's not a change of use. And if they followed all our zoning, they would be perfectly acceptable. And, I hope everyone would agree that would pretty much destroy downtown. So I think we need at least something that protects Newmarket from, something like that happening. So I'm going to formally request to Steve to put on the agenda a resolution that says if a building in downtown is torn down, it has to be replaced with something that's architecturally, compatible with the town. Now, I am more than happy to receive input from anyone here before I send that to Steve if you have a better idea. Somebody proposed to me maybe to replace a building downtown, you need town council approval. Several people, including my wife, didn't think that was a good idea. And I'd like something really simple to get started with this whole idea of how to keep downtown. Because, as you know, anybody that knows Newmarket, the one thing they know is the downtown. They go, oh, the downtown is so cute, or downtown is so nice, I really like the downtown. And yet we have no regulations at all that keep that downtown looking like it is. And at some point, some developer or something is going to realize we have a soft underbelly here and is going to come in and do something that maybe we don't like. So I would like to start the process of trying to put some restrictions on how to change downtown.
May I ask that we change it from putting a resolution on to let us investigate the process of being able to put this in, because I want to get a legal opinion on what we can and cannot do, what the council can and cannot do versus what has to come as a recommendation from the planning board or a situation like that. But I understand the process, and I'll go, we'll start the process, but I just want to make sure that you don't expect at the next meeting that a resolution will be on.
Could I expect at the next meeting you will have talked to the attorney?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I'm happy with that. I just want to get the ball rolling that we're doing something.
And just so I have it clear as well, would you mind writing me an email with specifically your idea, so I can give that to the
Okay, but that's the idea. I mean,
no, but I want to get specific,
okay.
so I don't miss something or misinterpret it.
That was my thing.
Okay. Any other closing comments? I just had one, and that was I wanted to commend the town clerk, Terry Littlefield, and her staff for yet another exceptionally well-run election last week, and so many people remarked how easy the whole process was, how friendly everyone was, and it was just there may have been a couple issues with parking, but it had nothing to do with Terry, and it was just a really great day. We are really fortunate to have Terry, Donna, Andrea. Am I missing someone? Who am I missing? Sandra, thank you. To have them in that office, and again, like I've said this before, they are oftentimes the face of Newmarket. And when you go to register your car, or you get your dog license, or whatever it is, those are the people that you're greeted by, and they just do an incredible job all the time, and it really sort of shines during our elections. So they handle all like the little bumps with grace and a positive attitude. So it was great. It was another great day, and I don't have anything else to add. So our next meeting is December 7th. I wish everyone happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. 3 weeks.
The day that will live in infamy. Is that December 2nd?
And we are adjourned.